Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel that is all about beauty and educational videos. With me today is my brand ambassador Nasra aka Tisnachu, and if you like to know how we created this look, come along with us. I know it's been a while here, but we are finally back. And to begin with, nimeanza na number 7 hydroluminous water concentrate serum ambayo itasaidia hydrate and plump her skin. And next nimetumia moisturizer ambayo ni Cerex Advanced Nail 92 all-in-one cream. This is my second bottle and I can say I'm obsessed because it adds hydrations to the highest level. And it can be used, I think, for both dry and oily skin. I've never had any problem with it. So what does serum do? Ni inasaidia kuongeza maji kwenye ngozi, where moisturizer seals the moist ambao isipotee. Even after hours you still have that hydration sealed inside her skin, and that is her afterglow. Then I went with the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched eye base ambao itasaidia kuondoa fine lines na kuondoa puffy eyes. To prime her skin, nimetumia Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is a very good primer for people with dry skin because it's a silicone base and helps your foundation stick to the skin. And I'm using concealer to correct her eyes, to prep her eyes as my base. And as you can see, I used a brush, then I used a beauty blender to remove the excess product, because if you're going to have a lot of concealer kwenye macho, it will tend to make the eyeshadow crack ama smudge. So make sure you're using only the amount that is needed. By the way, I forgot to mention that most of the products ambazo nimezitumia kucreate hii look ni zimekuwa sponsored by Wahidazzz, ambao ni an online page on Instagram selling authentic makeup from drugstore to high-end perfumes, everything that a woman needs. Go follow her and order from her, because I personally purchase from her. And for bronzing, I use the Huda Beauty Tantua bronzers in the shade medium. This is a cream bronzer that is so easy to blend and is so pigmented. And this is the way I bronzed her face, above her eyebrows to lift her face. This is a new technique that I'm using to snatch the face. If you want to achieve snatch effect for bronzers, yani uonekane like you're naturally sculpted, this is for you. For concealing, I'm using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. Also, this was sent by Wahidazzz. This is, I can say, even lightweight concealer that you can build it up. And what I loved about this concealer is that it blends so well. And you can build it slowly without feeling like you're caking up the under eyes or the rest of the face. So I love it. The concealer is around 2 to 3 shades lighter than my model complexion. It will help to bring the center of the face look brighter, whereas the bronzer will add shadow to the side of the face. As you can see, nimeitumia chini ya macho, forehead, bridge of the nose, upper lip na kwenye chin. This way, I focus on the center of the face and I love the results. I think we can all agree that the first thing ambayo yapotea kwenye look ni blusher. You can apply a blusher after 2 hours, you'll feel like it's no longer there. So a tip, if you want your blusher to last through the day, use a cream blush, and then later you'll add the powder blush. This will give you a guarantee or a seal to the base yako, kwa sababu if you're going to use cream, it is like add base yako ndani. So when you apply the powder on top, it will give you the longevity of the blusher to be there throughout the day. And I'm starting off from her cheekbones to the highest temple of her forehead. That way we achieve the same what I desire that I wanted. That is a snatch finish. Have you ever experienced setting your under eye with translucent powder after concealing that it ends up patchy ama ya crack? It's because mara ingine the wet base doesn't allow the translucent powder to sit properly. So this is a tip for those who are suffering under eye cracking ama patchy under eye after you are done with your makeup. This is a tip for you. Use compact powder to merely set the under eye. I'm talking about little powder to set the under eye, and I'm using a powder puff. This technique will help and ensure your under eye to stay input for longer. And I've used the MAC Studio Finish powder in number NC44 and Lancome Dual Finish 370 bisque. I mix the two to get that nice color for her under eye, because I wanted to snatch the under eye, like to bring out that bright under eye. So for people who are looking that bright under eye, this is for you. Like as you can see, nimeiset under eye, and this is a technique guys for people ambao wataka ku yani makeup ilast longer. You know, like mara nyingine waenda mahali, you feel like after hours you have to do touch ups for your under eye. So if you want your makeup to last longer, like I did this technique last year on my masterclass, and I think the ones who attended my masterclass saw that the entire event, from the time I entered the hall to the time I left, my makeup was input. So because I have fine lines and yani wrinkles under my eye, and I love this technique for me. Then I went with the baking technique, that is nimembake under eye. As you can see, sijamfanyia eyeshadow, so I'm afraid for the fallout of itakayoanguka kutoka eyeshadow. So this is the safest way to help your under eye, because mara nyingine waweza kupata fallout ukija ukidust off ile color ama pigment ya eyeshadow ya bakia. So when you're dusting off the translucent powder, it lifts the fallout ya eyeshadow. So nimetumia like center of the face, snatch her nose na smile lines, and I'm using a bronzer from Huda Beauty to set the rest of her bronzer areas ambao nimetumia, and I think I use shade number 3. This is Benier Clown White eyeshadow base. That is a thick cream ambayo it's, I can say it's more of a P. Louise eyeshadow base, but this is thicker in consistency. I got this, I learned this tip from a Nigerian Mua who came to Mombasa, and I decided to purchase this base and see the difference. And like she said, the P. Louise is a little bit lighter in thickness, so mara nyingine yafanya eyeshadow, like when you're blending it swipes the eyeshadow, yafanya kama mistari. So asema this one is better, and I tried it and I can say I love it. So what a white eyeshadow base does is yasaidia the pigment in your eyeshadow to pop more. Like let's say you want to use green shades, blue shades, and when you're using with just concealer, the colors are not giving it all. So hini white eyeshadow base, what it does, yasaidia to bring out the vibes or the vibrance of the colors. And I'm using the Jaclyn Hill Volume 1 eyeshadow palette. You know this is my all-time eyeshadow palette because of the warm tones, neutral tones, the red tones. And I just love this eyeshadow palette. For the eyes, I used all matte shadows to create this eyeshadow look, ambayo nimetumia mostly ni nude shades, warm tones, yani browns, black. Those are the colors that I use. And for her inner corner nimetumia white matte shade ambayo nimepata kwa eyeshadow palette ya Nigerian brand. I'll add all the names of the palettes nimetumia into my description box, because for the Nigerian brand I don't remember the name. And as you can see, I'm trying to blend like a transition shade ambao mix the yellow and the nude shade from Jaclyn Hill Volume 1. Then I went with another nude. I think you can see the way I'm showing from the screen to the eyes, but mostly I wanted the eyeshadow to have that snatched effect finish look. Mwisho nilitumia 2 dark brown shades from Jaclyn Hill Volume 1, nikaweka a card ambayo it created. As you can see now, I've zoomed in. Your card, when you're using that technique, it's like using sellotape, but I feel for sellotape wengine wa feel like kama waumiza, and it's not safe if you've done your base, like eyeshadow ushai create ushamaliza, I mean the base ushai create ushamaliza, then you go with sellotape. I feel like it lifts the base. So if I want to create those V outer corner, I usually use a card, a box, anything that is flat. So a tip, guys, if you're creating a look with the all match shades, even with shimmers, you have to make sure after each step you add another shade to transition, because if nimetumia a dark brown from the outer corner, then nitumie white into the inner corner, middle part I have to have a shade ambayo ita transition. So I used the yellow shade from Jacqueline Hill volume 1 to transition, and I was playing yani around back and forth, making sure hakuna hash line between the white and the yellow and the last shades that sasa hii mumeona the technique that nimewambia. I'm just using a business card, naweka from yani kwenye under eye yake lower lash line to the temple of her forehead, and I'm blending the two dark browns. Then I'll add a eyeliner ambayo nitaifanya a bit thick, then mwisho nitasmudge again with a black eyeshadow. As you can see, I'm blending them accordingly, so you don't see like black imeanza hapa, brown imeanza hapa. So a tip for blending eyeshadow, make sure you usually go back to the shades. Kama umetumia black, go to brown to transition it. If you've used a brown, go to a nude shade to transition it. That way you achieve an eyeshadow ambayo iko well blended. As you can see, there's no lines. Another tip, guys, when you want to use matte eyeshadows, make sure you're using fluffy brushes, because if you're going to use flat brushes, they won't be able to pick the product, because the matte eyeshadows ni kama powder. They have to have something to linger in, like to hold in. So mimi nimetumia for the inner corner white and the yellow, nimetumia fluffy flat brush. I did not use a flat brush because najua the quality of the eye look won't look good, and I might end up having bristles of the lines za brushes kwenye the matte shades. And then for the transition nimetumia fluffy round brushes. Okay, now it's time to set our blusher. Remember, we used cream blush, and now we need to use powder blush to set the blusher so it gives that longevity. And this is Shane Glam Sweet Blush Trio Cheeks. That was also sponsored by Wahidazzz. It's a 3 blush palette that has a mauve, a pink, and a peachy shades. They are so pigmented and easy to blend, as you can see. I mixed 2 shades, the pink and the peach, because I felt like the mauve was too dark for her. And now it's time to set her makeup and dilute all powders on her face. Mara ingine weza mpamba mtu ukaona you can feel like the makeup is heavy, ama you can still feel like the powder are sitting on top of the skin. So the best way is to use a spray alafu force it to dry. So for this, I'm using the Revolution Hydrate and Fix Radiant Makeup Fixing Spray. This is an oil control fixing spray. That's one of my favorite fixing sprays. And now it's time to highlight her face. That is the highest points of her face. That is cheekbone, chin, upper lip, kwenye nose na forehead. That I not much do it, because I feel like if mtu you are sweat, she tends to look like ana mafuta. And I'm using Soul Body Shimmer Highlighter in shade Platinum. That was also sponsored by Wahidazzz. And I can say this highlighter is so pigmented. So pigmented. For the lovers of highlighters, get this from Wahidazzz. So for lining her lips, I used Iman Salal eyebrow pencil. Yes, you heard me right, guys. You can use an eyebrow pencil to draw line, to lip line, because this is a very neutral brown shade that is complementing with her skin tone. And there's no rules to makeup. Firstly, the eyebrow pencil are so pigmented from Iman Salal. She's a makeup artist based in Nairobi, and her page is imanbeauty.co. She sponsored us these lip liners last year, and I can say they are so nice and easy to blend. As you can see, I'm drawing her lips without having a hard time. So if you want for your eyebrows something very soft and nice, I've used this for eyebrows, I've used this for lip liners, and I love it. And to create that nude shade on her lips, I used 2 matte lipsticks. One ni MAC Retro Matte Lipstick in the shade Lady Be Good. And the second one is from Too Faced Melted Matte. That is in the shade Making Moves. So I mixed these two shades to get a perfect nude shade for her skin tone, and I used a lipstick one to apply. Guys, you cannot use direct lipstick one on her lips because you don't know what you're going to transfer from one lip to another. You might transfer bacteria or ulcers. So to be on the safe side or hygiene to be top notch, make sure you're using either a brush or a disposable lipstick wand. And to finish off, nimetumia Colourpop So Juicy lip gloss that was also sponsored by Wahidazzz. I love that this was more on the creamier side with the gold reflex in it that brought the whole lip shade together. And we finished off using the Nigerian gele headpiece from Ayesha's Glam. I'll add her link on my description box where she has amazing Nigerian attires. And I'm here to remind you guys that we will be having our third masterclass coming 10th November 2023. And our model will be this Nacho. We hope to see you there. And if you haven't purchased your tickets, please do. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. And if this is your first time joining us, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share, comment, and like. Without you, I wouldn't be here where I am today. Thank you so much for being so supportive, and see you next time. Bye-bye.